Alright students, let's look at another practice shape. This practice shape also comes from activity 145. The examples document on Blackboard has these pictures plus the dimensions that you need. This particular shape is metric. 1 square equals 10 centimeters. And what we need to know now is that we have to tell Inventor to use metric. If we don't, then it is using standard or English units. And we can and have to go through some special steps to tell it to use centimeters. The other thing we need to understand is that in Inventor, the base unit for metric is millimeters. And so all of these numbers are going to be in centimeters on this drawing, but we're going to have to convert them to millimeters in Inventor to have them drawn the right size. So let's look at the steps we're going to go through. In Inventor, I'm going to click on New up here in the corner, not here, but up here it'll let me choose a template. And I want to choose metric, and over here under parts I want to choose standard IPT, and notice it's millimeters. That's telling us that the base unit is in millimeters. So I choose that one and click Create. And the rest of Inventor is going to look the same and it's going to operate the same, but now we're drawing in millimeters. Our dimensions are in centimeters, so we're going to have to convert from centimeters to millimeters, and that's a ratio of 10 millimeters to 1 centimeter. So our math is really easy. All of these dimensions are times 10. So in Inventor, I want to draw a rectangle, this basic rectangular shape that is 100 millimeters by 30 millimeters. That's the same as 10 centimeters by 3 centimeters. So start 2D sketch on the XY plane, and right up here you'll see a rectangle tool. I'm going to click and drag a rectangle that is close to the correct size. Then I'm going to zoom out and use my dimension tool to go ahead and dimension the outside distance of 100. Remember, it's 10 centimeters or 100 millimeters. The height should be 3 centimeters, which is 30 millimeters. There's our basic outline. Now I'm ready for the circles that make up these 3 holes on the shape. So I'm going to draw a circle, and I'm not real worried about the positioning or the size of the circles when I create them. I just want to put them on there and then use the dimension tool to put them in the correct location. Let's look at those locations. The left-hand circle is 2 centimeters or 20 millimeters from the left-hand edge of the part. It is 1 centimeter or 10 millimeters from the bottom edge. So let's do that in Inventor. To dimension to a circle, you have to choose the center point. The center point and then the left edge of the part will give me the dimension, and I need to put in 20 millimeters to position that in the correct place. As far as the height of the circle, again, it's center point of the circle and bottom edge of the shape this time, and we need 10 millimeters for that one. The right-hand circle, way over here, shares the same dimensions, but from the right edge. So in Inventor, center point of the circle to the right edge of the shape, this should be 20. Center point of the circle to the bottom edge of the shape, this should be 10. And then finally the middle circle, if we look at its dimensions, from the left edge 5 centimeters or 50 millimeters, and then from the bottom edge all 3 circles share that same dimension, so 10 millimeters from the bottom edge. So 50 millimeters and 10 millimeters for the center circle. So click on the center of the circle, click on the left edge, and type in 50 millimeters. From the center point of the circle to the bottom edge, it should also be 10 millimeters. So now all three of the circles are positioned correctly. They're just the wrong size. Let's look at size dimension. The size dimension is shown right here. Diameter of 1. It should say 3 places, okay, because there's 3 circles. But a diameter of 1 centimeter or a diameter of 10 millimeters. So now with dimension, I click on the edge of the circle and I get my diameter of 10. And by the way, we don't worry about where we put dimensions on Inventor because we're not creating a drawing, we're creating a 3D model. So all of these have the same diameter of 10. So each one of those I clicked on the edge of the circle and then placed the dimension and typed in 10. The last thing we need to do, and I'm going to exit the dimension command by clicking or by right clicking and saying OK. I've exited the dimension tool. Is these corners right here are not square corners. If we look at the original drawing, you can see they're rounded. You can see that in the isometric view and in the front view. They're dimensioned as having a radius of 1 centimeter or 10 millimeters. So let's look at how we could do that in Inventor. The hard way would be to try to draw a circle and then trim away the part that we don't need, or an arc and then trim away the parts that we don't need. The easy tool is this word right here called fillet, and it's a machining term for rounding a corner. When you click on fillet, the very first thing you have to do is specify your radius. We want a radius of 10. And then don't hit enter, but come down here and click on the lines that you want to have that fillet applied to. And as many as you need, it'll keep using that same radius. When you're done, you just right click and click OK. And now our shape is fully drawn and fully dimensioned. We're ready to finish our sketch. And I'm going to zoom out so we can see it. And we're ready to add our depth. But what is our depth dimension? Let's go back here and look. Our depth dimension is shown right here in the right side view, 1 centimeter or 10 millimeters. So when I do extrude, one thing's different this time. Because we have the circles, it did not automatically pick the profile or the shape. And so we actually have to tell it what shape we want to extrude. So I'm just going to click right inside the shape here, and it does that automatically. Now here's our distance. Just by pure luck, it already had 10 millimeters there, so we'll click 10 and click OK. And there is part 3. Over here is the free orbit tool. If you want to rotate that around and take a look at it, that is the practice shape finished. So I'm going to save this one as practice shape 3. Come up here to the program button, go to save as, and I'm going to call this one practice shape 3 and click save.